Okay, everybody. I think we're live. When the clicker goes down, it means we're on, right? Okay. Welcome to the Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting. Wow, I got to get my glasses on. Been a while. Okay, we are focused on maintaining a drug-free and healthy lifestyle. Since 2001, our open forum meeting welcomes parents, adolescents, recovering individuals, and anyone who supports our mission. Your suggestions, comments, or ideas are welcome to make our meetings the best they can be. The Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting is a cutting-edge alternative to what is currently offered. By combining substance abusers, families, friends, and the public at large, we have created an environment that is beneficial to everyone who has been affected by alcohol or drug addiction. Meeting start time is 6:30. Please be on time. Please turn off your cell phones. Yeah, we can just let that one go. Please, only one person speaks at a time, and when you do share, please do it loudly so everyone can hear you, including everyone who's watching wherever they are in the world right now. We will sign any attendance slips that needs to be signed, so get that to us after the meeting. We'll take care of that for you. The only thing that we ask of everybody in here is that you're honest. Be honest with what you're saying. If you're hurting, please raise your hand early and honestly say what's up so we can help you. And if you're feeling good, share that stuff as well, because that's what we're here to do. Feel free to openly share your comments and points of view on how alcohol and drug addiction has impacted your life. This meeting is open to people of all ages and welcomes diversity. So please refrain from using excessive foul language or language that discriminates against any race, gender, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability in order to maintain an atmosphere of respect and dignity for all who are present. I can't believe we're reading that in 2022. I think we're going to take that out.
Take it out.
All right. If you see a visitor, a new member, or a returning veteran, as I like to say, that you haven't seen in a while, please warmly welcome them into our program. Your confidentiality is important to us, except if you're on the live stream broadcast, so confidentiality is out the window tonight. Please refrain from leaving the meeting while it's in progress because it's annoying. Smoking or vaping, we don't even need to discuss because everybody quit that. And if you're going to litter, as always, litter in one of our trash cans. Okay? What do we do? Lifestyles, right? Lifestyles of recovery. Who has those?
Got it. Guidelines for lifestyle of recovery. The lifestyle of recovery guidelines are intended to be utilized by recovering individuals, their families, and anyone who is striving to avoid substance abuse and achieve sobriety. 1. Recognizing that substance abuse ruins lives. 2. Wanting to pursue positive alternatives to substance abuse, such as our education, employment, quality relationships, and health and fitness. 3. Using resources such as friends, family, teachers, and peers as a way to achieve and remain sober. Adding sports, art, or music to these resources will help us stay focused and motivated. 4. Defining balance and working towards making it a part of everyday life. 5. Building self-esteem and confidence through sobriety to combat negative feelings regarding oneself. 6. Understanding that negative behaviors of isolation and self-pity lead to self-destruction. 7. Lifting a person up is different than allowing them to continue their destructive lifestyle. Be there for yourself and be patient with friends and family. 8. Learning how to help without supporting the addict's behavior, providing assistance to the recovering individual that will improve their lives, not further their usage. 9. Recognizing personal challenges and integrating them into our lifestyle as challenge to triumph over. 10. Caring for our personal, emotional, physical, and spiritual individuality is the source we use for a sense of worth. Each person is truly magnificent. Our mission at Racing for Recovery is to prevent all forms of substance abuse by promoting a lifestyle of fitness and health for all those affected by addiction.
Right on, Trevor. Okay, before we do the introductions, is there anyone here for their first ever Racing for Recovery meeting tonight? First timers? Just two. Right Welcome. So here's what you get at Racing for Recovery. The new people are going to stand up right now and you're going to sing the national anthem. We like to do things a little bit differently than other traditional groups that are out there. So tonight we're going to go around the room. Everybody's going to get an opportunity to very loudly say your name, and we want to know why you've chosen to come here tonight. Frank, go ahead.
My name's Frank, and the reason I come here tonight is because I found a place that works.
Sir.
I'm Tim Swan. I'm here to support David and Tori through their adventures.
I'm Michelle Swan. I'm David's mom, Tori's future mother-in-law, and we are here to support them, and we are so thankful for this program.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm Tori. I'm here because I belong here.
And you do.
I'm Dave, and I'm here because this is just what we do on Thursday night.
Sam.
I'm Sam, and I'm here to stay connected, give support, and also receive support.
I'm Tony, here for a tune-up, and just to show my appreciation for what this place gave me.
Right on.
My name's Josh, and I'm here because I have a choice today.
Yeah, you do. Pat.
I'm Dave. I'm here to continue with my success.
I'm Brian. I'm here because this is life, and I love my life today.
My name's Kenneth. I'm here because it works, and I'm going to continue to work it.
My name is Elijah. I'm here to get it together.
I'm Alex. I'm here to stay connected.
I'm Nick. I'm here to maintain a successful, healthy life.
I'm Jessie. I'm here to learn. This is a part of our routine.
I'm Jacob. I'm here because I love being here.
I'm Ryan, and I'm here tonight because I've learned how to love myself finally.
Cool.
I'm Charles. I'm here for the journey.
That's a good band, by the way. Only with Steve Perry, not the new guy. Right? Sorry. I'm sorry. I should go home. Sorry. Go ahead.
My name's Chad. I'm here because I want to be.
I'm Tommy. I'm here to live a better lifestyle.
My name's Trevor. I'm here to better my future and support my friends and family.
I'm Dylan. I'm here to stay busy.
Stay busy.
I'm Tom. I'm here because it's a safe place to be and it just feels right.
Good to see you, dude. I love that groggly voice you got going, right? That's awesome.
Oh, I'm Robbie. I'm here just to be on TV. No.
Cool.
You got that. I'm with that guy. No, I'm joking. I'm just here because this place, helped me save my life, and why wouldn't I come back? When I get time to fit time in my schedule to come back here. So.
Cool. Cool. Good to see you.
Hi, my name's Michelle. I'm here to support my son, Mike. Nice to see you up there.
Trevor, they can see him up here.
Yeah. I did not.
How does it feel to see him up here?
It feels wonderful to see him up there. Yeah.
Good, good.
I'm Mark, and I'm here because this is what works for me, and I love this place.
My name's Christian. I'm here to learn to live a different life other than being restrained by the chains of addiction, man.
Yep. Right on. Jeff, go ahead.
My name's Jeff. I came to support you tonight, Todd.
I appreciate that.
I'm Mark. I'm here for more knowledge, and this is the place to get it.
I'm Shane. I'm here for myself and to feel love and connection.
I'm Ariana. I'm here because this place is home, and I love the support given and received in this room.
I'm Hayden, and I'm here to listen and learn.
I'm Emily, and I come to these meetings because it doesn't matter how long I've been sober. I know that the recovery process is lifelong, and I want to be able to support myself in that, as well as the most important people in my life. And I'm Matt. I came here 9 years ago for help and it changed my life.
Jeffrey.
I'm Jeffrey. I'm here to stay connected and maintain balance.
So I'm Jacob, and I'm here to support Jeffrey and maybe my mom.
Maybe? Okay. Cool.
I'm
I'm Danielle, and I'm here to stay connected, and I'm here to, you know, saving my life, and because I found a place that fits me.
My name is Shelby. I'm here for support.
Cool.
I'm Ray. I'm here for knowledge.
We do that, right?
I'm CJ. I'm here to find a purpose in my life and away from drug abuse.
Okay.
I'm Keith. I'm here for my sobriety. My name's Calvin. I'm here to begin a new life of recovery.
Cool.
We're all here to stay on track.
I'm Malaysia. I'm here to learn from my mistakes and become a better person.
So, that's your.
Oh. Sorry, I'm on call 24/7. I had to take that.
That's all right.
My name's Ron, and I'm here to support Mike, my son-in-law up there, my stepson. Sorry. I just want to say, this guy's killing it, man. The last 10 months.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Mark. Mark, what?
I'm Mike. I'm here today as part of my routine to come here, and today I can say I'm proud of myself.
That's awesome. Chuck.
And I'm Jess, and I'm here because this is where I came to get clean and sober, and this is my home, and I just love being here with all of you too.
I'm Todd. It's nice to be here. It's been a long time since I've been here. I'm actually nervous about doing this, but I wanted to say thanks to thanks to everybody who's here tonight. Thanks to everybody who's watching, and especially thanks to our staff who encouraged me to start doing these again. And I want to say thanks to Mike for really putting me over the edge in a good way to show up tonight. So peer support is alive and well here at Racing for Recovery, and I'm thankful I get to experience some of that. So let's do this. Who has the answer by Donald D. Cobb?
The answer. Running from the misery, trying to escape the pain. As I approach the light of hope that lies before me, each step overwhelms me. Every breath sears my throat. I ache. My body rebels against me. My memories torment me. Agony has become my closest companion. My demons mock me as I dangle helplessly above the abyss of alcohol and drug abuse. The voices all sound the same, criticizing, accusing, blaming me for what has happened. They don't understand. They don't care who I am. I am a human being full of thoughts and feelings. I am worth saving. Just show me the way. At last, I reach the light of promise. There stands the answer. Open arms, understanding smiles, and looks of trust. And so it begins, Racing for Recovery.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. So I have a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, we have the Glass City Marathon is coming up April 24th, I think, 2 weeks from Sunday. And I'm, I guess, pleased to announce, or thankful to announce, that Racing for Recovery is the title sponsor for BCSN for the day. We'll be covering the entire marathon. Emily's running it, Matt's running it, so we're going to have Racing for Recovery out there participating. We're going to have some commentating going on during the event itself, but we do have an aid station at mile 7 that a lot of you guys will in here be helping us to do that. So thanks for that. I love getting back out in the community and, you know, getting our face out there. It's been 21 years of doing this stuff, and I love how much we're being involved in the community. So, okay, so what do we want to do tonight? First of all, does anybody have something that they are really battling with that you want me to turn into an awesome support group meeting, or you just want me to do whatever I'm supposed to be doing up here? All right. Come on, somebody have a problem so I don't have to do something. Okay, all right. I was just kidding. All right, well, I want to do this then tonight. What? What?
I said, I got a problem. I can't play video games.
What? Oh, yeah.
I can't play
Yeah.
video games.
Afterwards, we got that. Okay, so I want to do this tonight. I'm going to go back and act like this is basically one of the first Racing for Recovery meetings that we ever had. And I'm doing that because I feel a lot of us in here are getting back to basics on why this got started, why the format is what it is, the impact of what this thing has really done. So I think a lot of you know, I know I'm not giving you a t-shirt for this, Mike. There was 5 people at the first ever Racing for Recovery support group meeting. And I look back at that, and the only reason we had a second meeting is because the first one with those 5 people was incredible. And I can honestly say this, that every Thursday I've ever been doing this for, well, 21 years, these Thursday night meetings, there's a magic to them. So another thing that a lot of people don't know, when we first came in here, and I think the date was October 1st of 2016, there were 243 people that came into this meeting. It was unreal. So it's not about numbers per se, but I want to get this meeting back to where it was, where there's an average of 100 people coming in here every Thursday. So if you're watching out there, tell somebody about it. If you're sitting in here, tell somebody about it, because I want to get back to what this program really stands for and why. So how about we do this? I'm going to give us 2 things to talk about. One, I'd like to know what your first meeting at Racing for Recovery was like. Coming in here the first time, what was it like for you coming in here? Maybe you had anxiety coming in, and then somebody talked to you and you reduced your anxiety. So what was it like? Why do you keep coming back to these? And then also I want to talk about how does it feel to have self-confidence? And I'm going to give you an example of that because I normally don't do this. First of all, my daughter Skylar is going to turn 24 tomorrow. So happy birthday, Skylar, a day early. And I'm going to have 29 years of sobriety tomorrow. I don't, thank you for that. I don't think I really ever say that about time, but I am going to say it now because, not from an arrogant standpoint, but I've been doing this for a long time. And I know what has worked for me for a long time. I know what has worked for me was the foundation of starting this thing back in 2001, and I've watched this thing grow beyond anything I could have ever dreamed of for 21 years. So I want people that are here, that are coming into this, or maybe that are watching, to know this thing is the real deal of sobriety for everybody that's been affected by addiction. And I mean everybody. Even if you don't even have a drug or alcohol problem, you can come to Racing for Recovery and improve your life. And that is what this is about. And I want to get that message back hammered into our community and around the world because it's very basic. People are hurting from trauma. We're using self-destructive means to deal with that trauma. And when you can come to a place like us in an original format and a unique delivery of live streams and everything else that we do and get clinical help to heal from trauma, and then you implement what we do in your own way, you're going to live a life that you never thought was possible. So, again, 2 things tonight. What was your first meeting like? Why do you keep coming back here? And how does it feel to have self-esteem? That's what I want to do tonight. Sam?
Okay, when I first came here, my first meeting was, I had a lot of anxiety. I was hopeful because I knew where I was coming from, I was miserable. So I basically already felt like I hit bottom of bottom. So the only way to go was up. So I was hopeful. And I remember the first IOP meeting that I had, it was that Sunday with you, and I remember that you remembered my name when I came into your IOP. You remembered it the second day, and that, just that impacted me so much. Just that little, you knew who I was, so you listened to me, because I never felt heard. I never felt, that I was of importance. And I had no self-esteem coming in here. And I've been here a little over 14 months, and I still choose to come here because this is where I got my self-esteem. This is where I found it. And I remember the first support group meeting where I wasn't doing well. I remember raising my hand and I remember speaking on it, and just the support and love that I felt helped me pull myself out of that funk that I was in. So these meetings are very crucial to me. They're very important to me, and I can be vulnerable and not be judged. I always felt before I was judged when I spoke, and that wasn't here, but I feel even like outside I would feel judged with anything that I was doing. Now I don't care about being judged. I don't care if I am being judged. Like, I know what I'm doing at the end of the day, and I know that I'm implementing, you know, what I show in groups, and I know that I'm still doing it outside of groups. I'm being that same person. I'm being true to me. I'm not worrying about pleasing other people, and that's what I was worried about. So me coming into IOP for the first time, or support groups, they have helped structure me to the person that I always knew that I wanted to be, and I had the guidance and the support that I never had. So that's what this place has done for me, and that's why I continue to come here.
Off and rolling.
Thanks, Sam.
Josh. The only reason I came here in the beginning was that this place was a hotel, and I've been to a lot of rehabs, and a hotel is better than a rehab. That's the only reason I showed up to racing. The first IOP I attended, I knew something was different. I didn't know what was different. There was just something different. It was the vibe. It was the feeling. It was how I was greeted. Any other 12-step meeting that I've ever been to, I've only felt guilt, shame, and ridicule. Here, I felt love, support, and just, I don't know, man. It was something. Sorry, I'm a little out of practice talking in front of people. But there was just something here, and I knew it. And my first trip through, I didn't take it serious. I still wanted to do me, and that's what I did, and I got asked to leave. And in that process, I knew that this was what was going to help me. That Racing for Recovery, a lot of it made sense, some of it didn't, but hey, you know, I built my own program off of this place's teachings. There's More Than One Way to Cleveland changed my life. I've said it I don't know how many times, and I'll say it to the day I die. I listen to that book in my truck probably once a month, just because I got nothing better to do, so why not stay up to date, I guess. It's just, I cannot say how much gratitude I have for this place and what it feels like to have self-confidence again. It's, I can't even say again, to have self-confidence, because before, I can't remember a time before racing where I actually cared about myself enough to say that I'm right, and I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, and I'm going to do this even though everybody else is telling me I'm wrong. I feel this is right, and that's what I'm going to do. And to actually feel that power and be able to have strength to talk in a group of people, you know, it was life-changing.
Josh, it's good to see you as always. When you read our Cleveland book, can you talk about like what was in that book that really resonated with you, that you were like, hey, you know, I'm going to invest in myself for this? What was it from that book?
I'm not an addict. Everywhere else I've been, you're an addict. You're always going to be an addict. You're always going to be, excuse my language, I'm sorry, but this piece of shit that's never going to accomplish anything in your life. That was my perception of what people saying that you're always going to be an addict. That's what it meant to me. And when Cleveland, There's More Than One Way to Cleveland said, you're no longer an addict. That's in your past. You don't have to live that life no more. Deal with it, but put it behind you. That was eye-opening.
Awesome.
My first couple meetings, actually. Well, the first one, it was a different, like he was saying, a whole different vibe. It almost felt like the big leagues. Like, you come in, if you want to get it, we'll show you how to get it. If not, you know, you can try to keep up, but we're going. And on the introductions, I introduced myself as an addict, because it was just instinct. It's just what I was, it's what I did, you know. And the gentleman that was running the meeting, you know, he didn't make me feel like crap about it. You know, he approached me after the meeting and was like, hey man, like, you know you don't have to do that, right? Like, and it was all nothing but love. And then at the next meeting, instead of just instinctively saying, yeah, I'm red, I'm an addict, you know, I thought about it for a second. I still did it, but I thought about it. And then he came up to me after the meeting again, and it was all out of love, and, you know, we had a conversation. And then eventually I stopped doing it, and it felt good. And that's where the self-confidence started to grow, where I didn't beat myself down. That's not who I am. That's who I was. It's not who I'm going to be anymore. And then I was able to take that little bit, that little seed of self-confidence that was planted and grow it into where I'm at now, to where I know what I want, I know what I'm going to get, I can face my demons and face circumstances that aren't really fair, I guess, and rise above them without self-destructing instantly, because I believe in myself. I set myself to a higher standard. Before, I didn't care about myself, so why would I try for anything? It's easier just to go sit in the corner and ignore my problems by getting high. Now I'm able to face them and triumph over them, and I'm starting to see where all that work comes into play, and just the rewards that I'm getting on a daily basis are endless. And I'm just forever grateful that I was able to break that shell of a self that I was and start becoming who I am today.
What license are you currently working on obtaining?
I'm just waiting for the Ohio board to process my information for the peer support certification. And as soon as the board decides to step their game up and do what they're supposed to do and mail me back, that's all. Everything else is good to go, though.
Awesome. Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. Cool, man.
So my journey starts way back to Monroe Street. I went to the Monroe Street. It was the first meeting I ever went to. I went to it with my mom. I was probably in my 20s. I didn't even want to get help. I went, you know, for her. Came here. I feel like I always did it for everybody else. I think, as far as like self-confidence, that was probably my biggest issue, was lack of self-confidence, self-esteem, because I was never willing to take a chance on myself. And that, like Red was saying, I always just thought it was inevitable. I was already marking myself off before I even got started. And like we talked about this in group today, Matt said it, just don't use drugs. It's that simple. And like I told him today, I thought it was crazy to even, like, how's that gonna fix my problems? And now it's as simple as that. I've always complicated it. So I know as long as I don't use for the day, you know, it's just gonna keep piling up. And like the time, it just flies by here. You don't even think about it. So.
What's the greatest thing you've learned here?
Myself, about myself.
Beautiful.
I got notes.
I was thinking, Michelle, remember I used to call on Dr. Agee way back then? That's like, I don't know, 25 years ago, probably?
That's how it all started, is touching your bug.
Wow. Okay, where we at?
Tori.
Tori.
I remember my first support meeting and having no self-confidence, but I knew that I wanted it. I just wasn't quite sure how I was going to obtain that. So that's why I decided, you know, to keep coming back. And all of it really was being encouraged by my caseworkers and peers. It was really, like, I put in the work to get my self-confidence. I practiced consistency. I practiced getting up every day and coming over to Pilates, you know, to make myself feel better. And once, like, I started practicing that, like, that was my main thing when I first got here, is practicing consistency. And in doing that, and going to my one-on-ones, and going to Pilates every morning, getting outside of myself, doing things that were uncomfortable that I was, like, so opposed to, like softball last summer. Like, I know I said this last week, probably the week before, but it was so important. It was so vital to my recovery to get outside myself and get involved in the community of it. And part of that was the consistency piece of it, and just keep showing up and doing those things. And like in doing that, then I was able to understand myself a little bit better, and I explored that a little bit. So I wanted to know how to live a healthy lifestyle without feeling the need to use drugs to cope with trauma, insecurities, emotions, and a lot of that was like trial and error, you know, and just allowing the process to happen naturally how it's supposed to, and understanding like that feelings aren't good and bad. Feelings are feelings. It's what you do with them is what could be beneficial or detrimental to my recovery.
You know, I was thinking of Caddy, your parents being here tonight. Again, the first support group meeting, there was 5 of us, and I thought about this when we were getting ready to start the meeting tonight. A lot of people don't understand like how our format came to be, and even with respect to self-esteem. I didn't have any self-esteem when I started this, and I was 8 years sober. I had confidence. When I know I'm going to do something, I get it done. I don't care what it is. I have confidence that I can get things done. But self-esteem is another, it's been another battle that I still encounter to this day. But when I came up with the idea of this, to me, it was like winning the lottery because I felt purpose, I felt passion, I felt compassion, and this got started simply because I'm like, wait a minute, I think I can take these experiences I've endured for a long time and put it back out there for other people to benefit from. That's why this got started. It wasn't started for money. It wasn't started to be on TV. It was started simply to give back and help. And I never want that message to ever go away. And even that first meeting, we had my supervisor, which was a great guy. He's Jewish. I think I'm Christian or was raised that way. We had a Caucasian mother who had an African American son who was dating a Caucasian girl. Those 5 people. So you think of the diversity in those 5 people, right? And it's partly why we read what we read right there, because some of this stuff hasn't changed since we started it. No one introduced themselves as an addict. Every person in there was affected by drugs and alcohol and trauma in some capacity, and we were 5 simple people talking about it and what we could do for everybody who's been affected by addiction. And the reason I'm getting back to basics is that's never changed. There's integrity behind that. There's been a lot of dedication behind that to get this where it is. There's been support. There's been understanding. My point is when you have confidence and you can find just a little glimmer of hope in your life's purpose, and you let that just light it and let it go, look what transpires over it. I had no idea what was going to come from that first meeting, except, like I said when we started, it was good enough to have another one, and then another one. And then pretty soon we started having them on Mondays and Wednesdays and all these other things, and the building and the staff and everything that's come from it. But it starts from initially stopping the drug usage, connecting with people that can have empathy for what you've been through, that don't need to be labeled from an addict and told you're powerless and you're hopeless and you've got a disease and you can't. It simply comes from, isn't it great to not be using drugs? I like you as a person. I want to know more about you. I'm sorry for my choices that affected the family. The families learn from us who are going through this. And it's just, next, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? You guys know what I'm saying with that? But it comes from, again, stopping the drugs and simply moving forward in anything that you want to do that's going to make you feel better and heal from what led you to using drugs in the first place. And everything will be groovy. That's how basic this is. But I'm sitting here tonight, like really reflecting on, a lot of the hardships that it's taken to get here, but a lot of the blessings that I've had the pleasure of witnessing for 21 years. I mean, this with a mom that I used to call on when I was a drug rep to see her son sitting up here today, phenomenal. This awesome person who's now a proud grandma. from coming in here. You know, I mean, there's so sorry, Josh. You know, I mean, there's so many good things that have come from this, and it all started from simply wanting to give it back and help somebody else. And again, I need to stress that because this is not about money for Racing for Recovery. It's about care first and business second. It has always been that way. It is today, and it always will be. Always. Care first. And when you do things with care first, the business will flow, and everything can happen from that. But that's literally, I'm talking like this tonight because I want everybody to understand that it's available for every single person that walks through that door. Your family can heal. Your person who's battling addiction can stop the addiction, and they can get out there and kick ass in life. That's a fact. That's not a freaking disease. There's choice in that, but there's benefits in those positive choices. I feel like I'm giving a sermon. I don't mean to do that. Okay, Rob.
Ken.
All right, so I think I remember my first support meeting. I didn't hear a word that was said because the whole time I'm looking up at those monitors and I'm like, you know, what's that goofy look on my face? Why are my legs? All I could do was pay attention to like what I looked like, and I was so self-conscious and like anxious about what image I was putting off to the whole world. Because I'm like, oh man, this is a live stream, I'm on TV and all that. But so I was super uncomfortable. But you know, I kept hearing it said in group like to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. Like that's where growth comes. So I kept showing up, and you know, I kept doing my thing. And like I liked what Red said about, you know, getting that little seed of confidence and like how that can grow, because you know, I feel like it's been a snowball effect for me. Like once I got a little bit of confidence and I got a little bit of success and things started going right a little bit, like then I built upon that, and it kept going and it kept going, and I kept learning. And what was huge for me about here is like I felt like I didn't have pressure on me. Like I wasn't thinking like, oh man, I've only got 90 days here and then I got to figure out something. Like there was no end date for me. I'm just like, okay, now I can relax and just work on me and figure out what I need to do, instead of trying to like scramble and control and worry about what was going to happen to me. Like I was able to just like take a breather for a second and let things happen as they did. Like, because you don't necessarily know everything that you need to work on when you come here. Like I didn't come in with a little worksheet like, okay, I've got this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. Like I didn't even know what I needed to work on. I just had to sit and let life happen. And once those experiences came my way, then, you know, when it's in your face, then I'm like, okay, this is something I need to work through. This is something I need to work on, which, you know, it takes time. Like, you know, you can't just pop in for a month or a few months and be like, oh yeah, I'm good. Like it takes time. You know, you have to let life happen to you in order to learn how to work through it. And then once you do get through those things, then you get a little bit more confidence, and it keeps building. Like, you know, now I feel like I've gotten to the point where like I don't need anybody else to validate whether or not I'm doing the right thing. Like I don't look for anybody else's opinion. Like I could care less what anybody else thinks about me. Like I know myself, and I know what I'm doing, and I know as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep getting, you know, the things that I've gotten. Like a year ago, I couldn't imagine everything that I have going on right now. Like, you know, this year I'm gonna be a new dad for the first time here in like, you know, 9 more weeks. I'm gonna be married. Like we just moved into our own house. Like we have a puppy. Like a year ago, you know, I didn't even. It's night and day difference. We'll just say that. Really, like I don't think I could have accomplished that without all the tools and the support that I learned here. Like, you know, I think somebody else said, like I've been to every other rehab in the city, in the state, out of state. Like I've been to all of them, and it's all the same thing. And you know, it works for a little while, but then it doesn't. But I think it's that main, like the main focus, the main philosophy here of like I'm not an addict anymore. Like now I can live my life. It's like a breath of fresh air. Like okay, that part's over. Now I can just move on and live. So yeah, I'm just grateful.
It's awesome, dude.
Mark?
Shit, I almost forgot what I was gonna say, till I heard Caddy say something about he had no idea when he came in. I know when I came in, hell, I had 90 days under my belt and I was still a train wreck without a lick of self-esteem, self-worth, and none of that. No confidence. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I just knew I needed to make a change. I knew I couldn't go back to doing what I was. Now, I remember my first IOP, Dan threw me right into it, right out the gate, but I didn't have no insurance. And you guys didn't turn me away, and I think I spoke on this before. So he said, show me you want it. Come to IOP every day for a couple of weeks, get on that insurance, and I'll get you in lodging. So I started to put the action in, that's where it starts. Actions, speak louder than words. And I remember that first IOP, God, was I so nervous, and I felt so uncomfortable. And then 2 weeks went by, and before you know it, Ariana told me I could move in. And, oh God, was I so uncomfortable and worried about the unknown, very fearful. Was I going to fit in? Was this going to be a good fit for me? But I knew I had to make a change, and I had tried everything else. Like, I think Josh, maybe someone else said, none of the places really worked for me, man. I refused to believe that I was an addict, and I was always going to be an addict, and it was a fucking disease, and there was nothing I could do about it but follow these 12 steps in a book, day after day after day, to the day I died. I wasn't going to swallow it. I couldn't swallow it. But when I came in here, I definitely had no clue what I was doing. But I do know that the connection, the unity around here, like all the staff, all my peers, there was so much positivity around here, and people reaching out. It allowed me to start working on my inner self, so once I started to feel that self-worth, knowing that I have choices today, that it's not I really don't know what I'm saying, but I love that slogan, with sobriety, anything is possible. Because damn, if it's one thing I've learned, that's real talk, that's the truth, man. And nobody made me do nothing around here, I put the work in and I did what worked for me. And that seed they talk about, man, just by starting to feel that self-worth and that self-care, just a little something, as simple as a haircut and a new pair of shoes, or, somebody telling you, hey, you did a good job, or whatever, man, I fed off that. I fed off everybody and all this positive energy around here. And man, it was I just couldn't stop. I mean, hell, I was thinking shit in my sleep, what I was going to do the next day and how I was going to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. And I was on the move. I remember my first live meeting in this room. I thought, no way in hell would I share. I barely came in the door because it used to be so full, like you said. Every room around this building was full. And I came in one day, and I don't know why, but I did. And I rose my hand right away. And man, whew, I was nervous. But you threw out 3 topics, and I was just able to hit on all 3 of them. And I shared some real deep shit, kind of a little bit of my story, and how that I didn't have no self-esteem and how it almost led to suicide and things like that, you know, and I don't know what possessed me to share that night, but I know for like the next 3 days, I mean, all kinds of people were like coming up to me and saying thank you for sharing, and a couple of people said, you know, it teared them up, and that definitely gave me the courage to share in these rooms. And I really wasn't going to share tonight, but I haven't really shared in groups or in the live meeting the last couple of weeks. Had a lot on my mind, a lot going on. Plus, I like to sit back and listen, you know, keep an open mind. But yeah, this place here, man, you know, it's sad that I made a poor choice after about 15 months, but by the grace of God, I found my way back in these rooms. And I'm picking up where I left off, man, and digging deeper this time, you know, focusing more on some of that real inner trauma that you guys talk about. Because it is like you said, it's more than just drugs and alcohol, man. Drugs and alcohol ain't really my problem. You know, I just turn to it to self-medicate, you know, when I don't love myself, you know, when I'm making poor choices. That's one thing I love about this place, man. I have a choice today, and like I said, with sobriety, anything's possible, man. That I passed.
Yeah, so my first support group meeting, I came in with nothing but 12-step, because that's what I did for the first 10 months of my sobriety. And I know I recently shared this, but my probation officer at the time was like, oh, you're really into running and triathlon, you should check out Racing for Recovery. So as soon as I had the ability to, I couldn't necessarily drive, I made my way in here, and it was held in the basement of the church on Erie in Sylvania, and I'll never forget it. I mean, I had a level of confidence in my ability to maintain sobriety, but it was different, because before it was, I'm gonna do it every day, but I didn't know how I was gonna do it, and it's like a grit, you know. And yeah, I had like the physical fitness piece was a part of my recovery process, but it didn't mean the same until I came here, because I trained for a marathon drunk. I mean, I run 19 miles wasted, like probably not smart. But my point for saying that is, I know that like there's a message out there, oh, Racing for Recovery is all about running, and that's not true. But what running has done for me gave me more meaning and my ability to see, okay, if I want to do something, I can do it. It's that simple. So I had that coming in, and I knew I was like a person that like, whatever I'm going to do, it's going to be balls to the wall, all in. I don't know any other way. That's just how I get stuff done. And so I was like that in my addiction. And so when I read the line in the Cleveland book that said, if you can put the same tenacity into your sobriety that you do in your addiction, you cannot fail. I will never forget that, because I tried telling my one go-to person that I was supposed to rely on for everything, my sponsor at the time, she's an awesome lady. My ex-mother-in-law, she's basically like my mom. It was her best friend, and she's an awesome girl. But when I tried to explain this to her, she's like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to be like, balls to the wall in sobriety. Like, this is all I'm going to know, and like dive head first. And so, I don't know, I felt like, when I sat down in the support group meeting and I saw this crazy dude with like mismatched Chucks and holes in his jeans and a rock star t-shirt, I'm like, wait a minute. So I can like be sober and happy at the same time? Like, that was a foreign concept to me. So, and I had been to enough support group meetings and had heard from a lot of people that would tell me what I needed to do. And if I didn't, then I was going to be this miserable person. But a lot of these folks were like 30 years sober and miserable. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that. So, and again, to like walk in and like see smiles and positive vibes, I literally felt like I had put on this warm glove. And the sense of belonging, rather than feeling like I fit in, happened. That's why I will always keep coming to these meetings, particularly when I really need it. And what I've learned in the process from you guys, from people that are in this with me, I've learned that I'm going to have problems I've never had before. I've never had a 17-year-old before. And this is scary shit. He's about to start driving without a parent in the car. Like, I'm anxious as, insert F word here. And so, I mean, like, I've got some awesome kids who have taught me everything I need to know how to stay sober. And a lot of these things are written in the books that we have. And so I guess I don't know, I feel like I'm rambling now, but I feel like I need to say this because when I first came in and I found this community where I feel a sense of belonging, I met people that I could talk to about specific things. Like my own personal recovery process, I mean, I have a person, like my own person. For the stuff that like I need to talk to another mom that has teenagers, I know I'm calling Jess. You know what I mean? Like I found that I don't have to rely on one person for all my stuff who also has to worry about all their stuff too. So that's like so important to me, but also that like that this like self like healing process is constant. I will have a normal regular day and all of a sudden I'll get a text message from my mom or an ex-husband and it's like boom, I feel like trash again about myself, low self-esteem. It comes back like this, but it's like wait, I know what to do. I know all I need to do is text message Matt, call Todd, talk to Jess. I've got my people. I don't have to do anything by myself.
You mentioned jumping all in and you were going to do everything in sobriety. So what are you doing job-wise at Racing for Recovery?
I'm the clinical director here.
That's pretty impressive.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just thinking about what she said, but I mean, I remember my first support group meeting. I met with Todd, and he's like, "Yeah, come to the meeting tomorrow." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I gotta go somewhere in public," and he's like, "Yeah." So I went there, and I was scared out of my mind, and I spoke, and I overcame a fear, and I kept going, and then I met the most important person in my life. So I'm never gonna stop coming.
Brian? For me, my first meeting feels like a lifetime ago. Scared, arms or hands sweating, palms sweaty, felt empty inside, didn't know the difference between happy, sad emotions because everything just resorted back to angry emotions to me, awkwardness, anything, vulnerability, knew no difference, it didn't matter to me, it was just always resorted back to anger. Scared, didn't want to talk, didn't want to be here, took it kicking and screaming, kept coming. In all reality, I was an addict at that time though. My mindset was an addict's behavior. My actions were addict's behavior. I moved in the shade, so to speak. I took shortcuts. I fought it every step of the way. I wasn't true to myself. I didn't open up. I told you what I thought I wanted you to hear. I was controlling. I was insecure. I mean, just basically every bad thing an addict could do. I mean, I was the poster child in my eyes to that. And today I can actually sit here and say I'm no longer an addict, and I feel that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've done a lot of work here. They've taught me the difference between certain emotions, and it's okay to sit in some of that stuff and be awkward and be vulnerable, and the difference of what I'm able to choose to control, you know, all these things, man, to where I actually feel like I'm not an addict today.
Wow. We started talking at first about your hands are sweaty and all that. I'm like, is he doing the Eminem song? Waiting for some type of dance move or something. That's good.
Hello, everybody. I'm Christian. I just want to say congratulations to you two over there having a baby here soon. That's awesome. And with you speaking, it made me think back to trusting the process. You got to be patient with the process that you're. That the end of the road is death, because, like she said, the program is going to be a lifetime thing, and this recovery is going to be something that I have to focus on for the rest of my life and put it first. Prior to me coming here, I didn't think I deserved to be sober because of the things that I had done to my family and to the individual that I was in a relationship with for X amount of years, and also my son. From the verbal, physical, mental, spiritual, physical abuse. I didn't think that I deserved to even breathe or to live, which in turn made me try to take my life. And by the grace of God, I didn't, and I'm here present with you beautiful people. I came into these doors off of a random phone call that I gave Jess. I Googled sober living near me, and Racing Recovery popped up first. I was getting booted from where I was last prior to here, because they said I was a disruption to class, only because I was being vocal on how I felt, and they kept shutting me down. But since I've been here, it's been the complete opposite. Like literally the complete opposite. Like I feel wanted. I feel loved. I feel like my voice is taken for what it is, like my opinion. I accepted your challenge, by the way, and I'm starting to read into that book. And I appreciate you for challenging me, Todd. When I first came in here to this meeting last week, I was nervous. You know, the sweaty hands that 4-5s talked about. Didn't want to talk. I was sitting over here in the corner, like trying to just stay away from everybody and everything, and the cameras and stuff, and I was shy. But that's not how you're gonna get better. You know, when you speak and when you voice what's going on, that's when you get the help that you need. And Ariana, she kind of noticed that I had my head down in the gym earlier, and I didn't think that anybody was going to say anything or try to pull me out of my funk, but she asked if I was okay and if I needed to speak on anything, like is there anything that's going on. I didn't take advantage of it because I don't want the vulnerability to be poked yet. I'm not ready to cry in front of people about the things that I've done because I don't want that judgment. But I know that this is the place where I won't be judged, so like I know it's to come, and I'm getting comfortable with that. And as far as like the self-esteem, man, that's going to be a long, tall ladder to climb up. But I'm confident in everything, not cocky or arrogant, but I'm definitely confident in everything because I put my best effort into it. And I know that I can't go back to where I came from. That this is it for me, and so I'm giving this my all with all the confidence that I have. And I just appreciate Jess getting me in here. Like, I called her and she said, if you get here for orientation, I'll have you in here for housing. I'll get you a place. Don't worry, bud. Just get here. I got here, and it's the best choice I ever made. She's amazing. She's an amazing person, and so is everybody else, all your other staff. And shout out to my mom. She tuned in to watch this, and I love you, and I appreciate your support.
Wow, that's very cool.
Thank you.
So we only got a couple minutes. I got two people. I just want to point this out real quick about the live stream because I've heard a couple people talk about being freaked out about it, which I understand. The live stream even came to fruition because over the years of running the meetings, I get people literally from all over the world that were like, hey, Todd, how do you get Racing for Recovery here? And we kept trying. Now, we've been working on this for years. We kept trying to figure out how do we deliver the Thursday night meeting to the world. And we finally figured it out with the live stream broadcast. So these things that we do are basically us filling a need that somebody has asked for us. I never thought that we'd have this thing shot all over the world, but it is because of the demand for it, So you may be nervous about having somebody see you, but you never know what you say in here is going to help somebody that you may never even meet them. But your words can literally change, and more importantly, they can save somebody's life. Because I can give you countless examples where people have watched a podcast of ours, or watched a support group meeting and have messaged me saying, I was done that day until I watched this. So what you have to say is of value, every time.
Trevor. Yeah, so my first day in here, like a lot of us, I was a wreck. Anxiety through the roof. That would change shortly after. But the big thing that I've noticed here, and I feel like a lot of us have went to AA meetings and stuff before this, because that's what's put out in the public eye more at this time. But notice I brought up the message that racing provides to AA members or people outside of here, and they get pissed. Like, and I start thinking about it, like, why are they so damn mad? And the reason I think they're so mad is because here the responsibility is put on you. There they try and they direct all responsibility away from you. You have a disease. It's not your problem. Like it's not your fault. All this and that, which is total bullshit. I have owned up to all my faults, all my choices, and I feel freed of that. When I sit in this room, and I'm like, no, and I am a believer in God. I do understand that you have to put a lot of that in God's hand if that's what you choose to do. But sitting here acting like a victim 24/7 when I was the one putting these drugs in my body and hurting these people is just total bullshit. I don't like. I was so convinced that it was a disease. I'm not even convinced, but I tried to take advantage of it shortly before I got here.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I wonder what I can pull from this. And it's a disease, so I can go get clinical help and then get paid for it because I was still in a drug addict mind. Now I'm like, I get to own up to all my bullshit. I get to do better. I get to work for the shit, and I feel great about myself. Like, holy shit, man! I got chills just talking about it because I don't have to be this vulnerable piece of shit that I used to be. Now I get to be vulnerable and accountable for my own actions and feel it. It's fucking awesome.
That was killer. Yeah, right on. Go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
Man, when I first got here, man, I just came in with a trash bag and negative thoughts, you know? Just thinking negative about everything, you know, when I first came in here. It was too good to be true for me, you know? Like, I was kind of scared in my own way. I was scared because I'm like, man, all these people are happy, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, like, I feel I'm awkward. I'm here in the corner. I feel weird, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like, you know, and it was just all this stuff and these emotions and me just trying to get clean and telling myself, do I really want this? Second guessing on this when I first got here, you know? But I'll tell you what, when I first got here, not one person looked at me wrong or nothing. They embraced me, you know? And for the first couple of weeks, you know, I was still like, man, I don't know, you know, I feel uncomfortable, you know? But then surely along, you know, people started coming around, man. I just started opening up, man, and I'm glad I opened up because, you know, like like I shared before, man, I used to make I made a heaven out of hell and a hell out of heaven. You know what I mean? Like that was my way, you know, was just being negative and always doubting myself, negative talk. Oh man, you're not gonna be, why are you even doing it? You know what I mean? So then I started trying to switch that around, you know, and it's like, and it's crazy what self-talk could do for you, even if it's just a couple words a day to start with, you know what I mean? Like self-talk, man, is just, it builds up your self-esteem little by little, you know? It built me up little by little. My self-esteem is not high enough. It's still like right here, but guess what? I never try to build it up too fast, you know? I try to slow my roll and just stay in my pace, you know? Like, basically, like, I don't worry about what anybody's doing. Like, I live my truth, you know? And that's my truth. My truth might not be somebody else's truth, you know? I stay with me and what I know and what I believe in and my morals and what I stand for, you know? And some people get it, some people don't, you know? And that's on them to figure out their truth, you know? And, man, this place, I could talk for hours, man. Like, it just gets me, like, emotional, but in a good way, you know? And this Sunday, man, you know, it's the day both of my parents, they passed away, you know? So it's like, I deal with that and I celebrate Easter and where I came from my previous Easters to the Easter I have now, you know, with a family and painting eggs, Easter eggs, you know what I mean? Like, it's awesome to really just realize, like, wow, like, I come from this and now I have a family now and I get to do this and I get to, you know, like, it's just beautiful, man. And I kind of, like, I needed to come here, man, because, like, to be able to express myself, you know, like, you know, and it's just beautiful, you know, and I know my parents are looking down on me right now, you know, and they're proud.
Yeah, man.
I know they are, you know, they're proud, and this place, man, like, there's so many, I don't think I have anything negative to say about Racing for Recovery, you know, because where I come from and my state of mind and where I was at, and to get lifted out of that, you know what I mean, this is the only place that done it for me, you know. I've been in all the programs in Toledo, you know, all of them. In Texas, I've been in a lot of programs, you know, and this is the one where it's like, I can't explain it, man. It's just that thing that just clicked in my head, you know, started. I'm just too emotional right now, to be honest. I can't
You're
even,
good,
you know,
man.
I'm too emotional right now. But like I said, it's okay to feel emotion, though. That's one thing I learned. It's okay to feel sad. It's all right to be angry. It's okay. That's normal. We all feel that shit. Excuse my language. I apologize. It's good to feel those emotions. You know that you're human. You're gonna feel those emotions. You know. And back then, I didn't know how to react to my emotions. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be here crying in front of everybody, like tearing up. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, you know, it's just I can't describe the feeling that, you know what I mean, I get from it, you know, and seeing people when I, you know, run in the stores and seeing people doing the right things, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, I don't know. I'm just rambling now, but this place right here, if you do the program and do what you got to do, it would help you. It will help you directly. It would help you. If it helped me, it will help you. I promise you, you know. I promise you. And I'm not saying that my hell is worse than anybody else's hell. You know? Everybody's the same. The circumstances are different, but the emotion's the same. You know? So I never look at somebody and think that I've been through more than them, because I'll just be lying to myself if I say that. Because their emotion, it's the same thing, but just different circumstances, you know what I mean? So I just love coming and hearing everybody share, you know what I mean? Like that right there just really just helped me, you know what I mean? And, you know, I was talking to my fiance, you know, before I came here, you know, and I told her I was going to come over here, you know what I mean? I felt like coming there to like share and with people that I know ain't gonna judge me and look down on me or you know what I mean, like people that embrace me, you know. So I'm sure glad I came, man. And if it's your first time, please come back. Please come back.
Like seeing you here,
please.
Mike.
And like Todd said, anybody else, tell everybody about it, you know, about it, because this place, man, it's just different all around different. Your words, what you told me, what do you love and how can I help you do what you love? That right there, those words you told me, that made me look at life with a purpose now. Because I never looked at life like, man, I got a purpose. I never looked at life with a purpose. I looked at life like, I gotta go do this, or man, I gotta go do that. Now I look at it like, I get to go do this now. Like, I got a job, I get to go to work. I get to do these things, you know, and I get to pay bills, you know what I mean? So, hey, it's crazy, man, having a purpose in life just with the smallest things. Coming to support meeting with a purpose. The difference, you know? Sharing off your heart, touching other people, man, helping them change their life. You know, I'm just grateful, man.
Awesome.
Sorry about that.
Glad you're here, Mike.
Who's got our closing poem? Go ahead, Babs.
Autobiography in 5 short chapters. I walk down the street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I fall in, I am lost, I am hopeless, it isn't my fault, it takes forever to find a new way out. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I pretend I don't see it, I fall in again, I can't believe I am in the same place, but it isn't my fault, it takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I see it is there, I still fall in, it's a habit, my eyes are open, I know where I am, it is my fault. I get out immediately. I walk down the same street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, I walk around it. I walk around a different street.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
God bless, man.